Yusuf. Yusuf. Yeah, this guy. He has a good question, I believe, last time, so he deserves a copy of the translation. Good job. He has been desperate since last year to get a copy, so if you don't start reading it, we'll have to take it away. Is that good? Okay. So we started to speak about forgiveness, and we said last time that we are human beings who make mistakes all the time. So we're not perfect, we're not angels. So we expect people to forgive us. And in the meantime, we should also forgive people if they do something bad to you, right? There is this concept, العفو عند المقدرة, that you forgive people when you are able to. But if someone breaks into your house and they take over your house, they take your money, they have like a gun with them, and they have big muscles, and you say, oh, I forgive you. No, this is not عفو عند المقدرة. You have to have the ability to overcome them, but you still let them go and forgive them. And the best one to learn from forgiveness, العفو والصفح, is Muhammad ﷺ. So we gave some examples yesterday, and we'll give two more examples. And the Prophet ﷺ was forgiving, because he knew the people had shortcomings. Sometimes it is not their lucky day. Sometimes they had something going on in their house, so they're not themselves. They said something irresponsible or something disrespectful. And if you read the seerah, you see the Prophet ﷺ forgiving a lot of people, Muslims and non-Muslims. So I'm going to give you an example of each today. We're going to start off with the non-Muslim. There's an authentic hadith in Bukhari and other books. The Prophet ﷺ was returning to Medina, and it was a hot day. So the Prophet ﷺ got some rest under a tree, and he put his sword on the tree, like on the branch of the tree. So it says in the story that a non-Muslim came, a pagan, mushrik, and he took the sword and he put it to the neck of the Prophet ﷺ. وَقَالَ مَنْ يَمْنَعُكَ مِنِّي? Who can protect you from me? And the Prophet ﷺ, without hesitation, he said, Allah will protect me from you. So his hands started to shake, and he dropped the sword. So the Prophet ﷺ took it and he put it to his neck, and he said, who can protect you from me? فَقَالَ لَا أَحَدٍ. And he started to cry, no one can protect me from you, right? And the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, I will forgive you, and the man left. And this is an authentic hadith. He tried to kill the Prophet ﷺ, but the Prophet ﷺ forgave him. We know also that in one of the stories, I think in the Battle of Badr, the Prophet ﷺ, they took so many asra, captives from the people of Mecca, and eventually the Prophet ﷺ freed them. He told them, khalas, go. We know that later, many years later, one of those who were taken captive, he had children and then eventually grandchildren, and one of them became Imam al-Shafi'i. One of his great grandchildren became Imam al-Shafi'i. One of the people who were taken captive at the Battle of Badr was the grandfather of Imam al-Shafi'i. So now imagine if the Prophet ﷺ killed him. We wouldn't see Imam al-Shafi'i and learn from his knowledge. But the Prophet ﷺ always chose to forgive and let go. The last example for today, it's a beautiful example, an authentic hadith in Al-Nasai and Al-Tirmidhi. I love this hadith. So, Ali radiallahu anhu was a judge in Yemen. And he used to collect zakah and send the money and the zakah to the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. So he sent a piece of gold as a zakah to the Prophet ﷺ. So there were actually four new Muslims. There were dignitaries, elite, like important people. They accepted Islam, so the Prophet ﷺ, يعني لتأليف القلوب, he gave them the piece of gold. He divided it among four people. So one of the Sahaba, he came forward, we don't know his name, an average Sahabi, came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was mad because he didn't get a piece of that gold. He was very angry, very mad. So he came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, and started shouting in the hadith, Nasai Tirmidhi, and he said, Taqillah ya Rasulullah, Taqillah, have taqwa of Allah, like I didn't get anything. What is this? Like he was protesting. And he was like disrespectful, you know, because this is not the way you speak to Rasulullah. You have to speak with respect, right? So the Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ إِذَا لَمْ أَتَّقِ. And he said, well, because the man said, have taqwa of Allah, ya Rasulullah. The Prophet ﷺ said, okay, who has taqwa if I don't have taqwa? So in other words, I do have taqwa. So don't remind me. He's saying something like this. Now imagine if in our countries back home, the president or someone important is giving gifts to people, and someone comes to them and said, okay, what are you doing? This is not, you know, you're not just, you're not fair, this is wrong. In front of everyone, do you think they will feel offended? Yes or no? They will be offended. And the first thing they will say, انت مش عارف انا مين وانت ابن مين, don't you know who I am, and والمخابرات تاخذوه وينفخوه ويكهربوه, معروف القصص صح? But the Prophet ﷺ didn't do any of that. He said, if I don't have taqwa, who does? And he left it at that. Khalid ibn al-Walid was Muslim at the time, and he was not happy about the way the man behaved towards the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, let me fix him up for you. He was very disrespectful, we have to fix him up for you. And the Prophet ﷺ said, no. Leave him alone because he prays namaz. He prays namaz. So it means he's a Muslim, but maybe, you know, this is not his, you know, he had some issues at home, he's not happy about something, so he lost it. And the Prophet ﷺ said, دَعْهُ فَلَعَلَّهُ يَكُونُ يُصَلِّي. Leave him because maybe he offers namaz, he prays. So Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu said, but Ya Rasulullah, some people behave and say things with their tongues. They pretend to be Muslim, but they are munafiq in their hearts. And now you can see he's disrespectful, he's munafiq. So he's not good. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah did not send me to open people's hearts and look inside to see if they are munafiq or not. If the person comes to the masjid, they pray namaz, they are Muslim, we leave it at that. So we don't go around investigating and checking if people are munafiq or good Muslim, and the Prophet ﷺ let the man go, and he didn't punish him. So you see from the two examples that the Prophet ﷺ was forgiving, and the point we learn from this is you treat people the same way you like to be treated. We make mistakes, we like to be forgiven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you if you forgive people. And you get this from Surah An-Nur, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. In the story of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, maybe we'll talk about this later, someone said something terrible about his daughter Aisha radiallahu anha, and that man Mustafa was a relative of Abu Bakr, and the man was very poor, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu used to help him financially. He was his relative, but when he said something terrible about Aisha radiallahu anha, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu stopped the payment. He said, you know what, you're not good to my family, you said terrible things about my daughter, I'm not giving you money. Then this ayah was revealed, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, yes, he did something wrong, but forgive him. Don't you like Allah to forgive you? So if you forgive him, Allah will forgive you. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and to help us forgive others if they make mistakes. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. We'll see you tomorrow inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.